throughout Australia. This is 3AW's live coverage of the 2018 AFL Premiership season.
Welcome back to the Gabba. About 2 minutes away from the recommencement. It is Essendon 7:4:46, Brisbane 3:7:25. The injury report is always brought to you by Morris Blackburn Lawyers, championing the rights of everyday Australians. And Jackie, fair to say, you had a front row seat for an absolute biggie in the second quarter.
Yeah, it doesn't get much bigger than that. The skipper of the Bombers, Dyson Heppel, obviously suffering a pretty nasty concussion, coming off second best after a collision with Luke Hodge in that second term. He's just emerged from the rooms in his tracksuit. He got a pretty good round of applause from the crowd here, actually. Everyone was standing up and clapping him, obviously. They were quite worried about him in that long break there. He won't play any further part in this game, but he is on the bench, ready to cheer on the Bombers for the second half. Excellent stuff. Jackie Reid doing the honours up here from the AFL on this now humid and overcast. And Jackie has told us there will be rain during the second half. So certainly Essendon, with the 21-point advantage, who knows how significant, if it turns up, it will be. So, very quickly, Matthew, quick word from you, and then Tim Lane before we start the second half.
Yeah, Bombers been too good, but I think there's a lot of upside in this Lions team today, with Beams and Zorko being relatively quiet. If they get going, it's game on. Let's start the third quarter for Robot Building Supplies. Essendon started 21 points in front.
Perfect bounce by Shane McInerney. Bellchambers to Stringer. Back to Bellchambers by hand. Now to Myers. Long ball to full forward is wide. Good result for Essendon as it curls away from the scoring area out to the boundary for a throw in about 10 metres around from the behind post. That was a too easy takeaway for Chris Fagan's liking, I would imagine, and it could well have resulted in a goal. The margin is 21 points, and if Essendon hit the target early, it's serious trouble for Brisbane. From the throw-in, ball socket away. A bit of a chaos ball, though, by the Lion defence. Straight to Hooker, outside 50. He sits his kick up for Mitch Brown, who's trapped under the ball. Couldn't get into a marking contest. Not clear. McKenna's got it. On the 50, swinging kick towards the top of the goal square. Fisted by that man, you guessed it, Harris Andrews. And it is through for a rush behind.
We were speaking about Dane Beams having a lot of the ball, and it didn't look like there was a match. I don't know whether Myers has been trying to take him, or certainly Keys is now taking the Merritt match up, but maybe Myers is playing a little bit of that defensive midfielder.
So Rich goes long on the kick, and a beauty too. And it is McInerney of Brisbane at half-back. Robot Building Supplies tell us Essendon, we've just started the third quarter, leads by 22 points, 47-25. But Brisbane by no means out of it. It's 12 scoring shots to 10 as they go backwards to Rich. So Rich of Brisbane, outside defensive 50, ball on the outer side of the ground. Kicks toward the benches on the wing. Ball knocked sideways that time then by Hipwood, a long way up the ground. It's released back in the Hipwood direction, but read off the pack beautifully. Sard received from Hurley, gave it to Myers, middle of the ground. He can go short and wide. Good position for Fantasia. Well done, Nick Robertson. Knocks it to the deck, coming through Brisbane. Handball shot out. Andrews, he can go wide. It's good too. To Martin. Martin of Brisbane, 60 metres out. They're going to go wider even still on the bounce. Trapped by Christensen against the boundary line. High floating ball to the forward pocket. Hurley works his way to the front. Ball just bounces. Hooker comes through. Tackle releases the ball. Tried to be picked up that time by Guelphy. It's come out now. Rayner just went along the deck that time. Can he get a man? No, he won't. Well done, Green. Neat pick up. Gave it to McGrath. Handball tip and Woody, middle of the ground, gives it back to McGrath.
On the burst. Through the middle he goes. It is a wide open front half, but well done, Harris Andrews. An intercept mark under extreme pressure.
Oh, gee. Harris Andrews has just given Bagley one in the breadbasket there.
And Bagley is down on his knees.
No one saw it, but...
Seriously, well, the cameras don't miss too much, so Harris might find himself in some bother. Meanwhile, he goes on and he kicks to Lester, who marks on the wing for the Lions.
I saw it. He just didn't need to do it. If the camera caught it, he might get might be a fine, but he might get a week too.
As the handball from McInerney put Christensen in awful trouble. He was tackled beautifully by Sard. For Rain and Horn to half-time, please, for all residential, commercial, building stuff. Rain with an E, Horn with an E. Who's best to feel so far, Lee?
I'm thinking that maybe String has been influential. Sard's run off half-back, I think, has been really good for Essendon too.
Harris Andrews takes the mark back, gave it to Rich, but not hitting a target on the bounce over the ball. Zorko to try and pick it up, but Myers got a little kick forward. Harris Andrews is having a terrific game. Handball to Rich wasn't clever. Ball's on the wing at the moment. Keys broke through, gave it to Rich, goes back to Mays. Now Mays can go long, and Brisbane have it at half forward.
And Harris Andrews is down at the moment. There might have been a little bit of square up as the Bombers win the ball at half back. Sard to Fantasia to Merritt to Goddard on his 33-year and 3-week-old legs. Worked it to Bellchambers to Myers. The Bombers held up for a moment. Now Redmond out wide to McDonald, Tippenwoody, who marks on the Stanley Street wing. Chips inboard to McGrath. Hand pass to Redmond. Running forward boldly, kicking into the 50, but in the Hodge direction. And he is steamrolled in the back by Mitch Brown. So it is a free kick to the old warrior who really made his presence felt physically on Dyson Heppel in the first half. He chips backwards to Robertson, who controls the left footer nicely and finds Keys out at half-back, just clear of defensive 50 for the Lions.
Robot Building Supplies scoreboard, Essendon 47. It is Brisbane 25. And really all Essendon in the first 5 minutes, third quarter. And there's no way out, so they have to just go backwards to Hodge. And Essendon doing a good job of closing them down. As Leicester broke a tackle half-back and dink one over the top to Harris Andrews. So give Rain and Horn votes. I think this bloke's been terrific for Brisbane today.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, no, he's been good. The big defenders have dominated at both ends, actually. There's been very little marking going on by the tall forwards at either forward 50.
And that is another awful kick from Brisbane. Kicked straight to Goddard. And he goes backwards to Merritt, who's defensive side of the centre circles. And just seeping off the clock. Merritt happy to slow play it to Hurley, closer to the wing, as he wants a man to run toward him. Distracted, and then goes wider to McGrath. So McGrath on true wing, Vulture Street side of the ground, or Members side of the ground. Essendon 47. Brisbane 25 for Robot Building Supplies. A little hand and foot candy that time from McGrath. Gives the ball off to Redmond, who goes to centre half forward.
Oh, spearing ball. That's a beautiful pass to Fantasia. Hand pass to Brown. A long ball. Sets up Stringer, who takes a mark. Did he play on? I reckon he did. Oh, he's kicked a goal anyway, but the umpire's going to make him have his kick. He gave him the bit of rope by not calling play on. And I think that caused the Brisbane defence then to relax, and Stringer tried to seize the opportunity. But it might well have been called play on, because I think that's exactly what he did. The man on the mark is only 5 metres out, the angle 45 degrees, and Stringer should have little trouble in kicking his second goal of the day and extending the Bombers' lead. He comes in and he drives it through. And Essendon are 8-5-53 to Brisbane 3-7-25. 28-point margin, a long way back for the Lions now. And that is on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Robot's got it for all your building supplies.
Yeah, certainly the Essendon defence is totally on top now. So the ball is bouncing back. The Lions defence has been good too. But if you just keep moving it quickly from the back half. We mentioned about Essendon's tackling pressure in the first half, but mostly it's been a free-moving game, and that attack off half-back, and that's where that Mason Redmond has been so good. He's just used the ball beautifully in that kick in towards half-forward or inside the 50-metre arc.
Yeah, I think Stringer got away with one then. He was all set to play on.
He was definitely off, yeah.
Martin, the tap. Gee, Brisbane in trouble now. Merritt knocks it backwards. Keys tries going off the deck, but Redmond in the way. Picked it up and handballs back to the middle of the ground. Who responds first? It's Essendon as Green. Got it out. Guelphy released the ball correctly. Merritt over the ball on the wing. He can't get rid of it. Hodge, Merritt picks it up. Neat handball. Got it off to Redmond. Essendon, the handball going forward. McGrath having a beauty. Got to Bagley. The looping handball over the top. Another handball that time then from Langford. Sidestep by Stringer. A little kick over the shoulder that time from Brown. It goes high. Chance for McKernan, who's better placed. Well done, Martin. At the foot of the pack that time then was McDonald, Tippenwoody. He went for the ball. He grabbed it. He had to release it. Stringer had it. Knocked down. Still 20 out. Essendon into attack. Stringer on top of on the base of the pack that time. It's hard and tough in there. Stringer tries to emerge. He threw the ball out eventually, and it was an illegal disposal. And he's stiff, Jake Stringer, because honestly, Matthew, is the only one to argue.
I suppose how people are actually onto this illegal disposal. Fair enough. But there is that many bodies about attacking you when you've got your hands on the ball. Sometimes you're just trying to dispose of it, but clearly incorrectly.
Alex Witherden has suffered a nasty leg injury here. He was so unlucky as I think Stringer just fell across his shin. He's picking himself up.
Yeah, he's going to be a bit sore. I tell you, it's just he was unlucky. Stringer fell into his leg and it got caught underneath. Bit of an ankle problem on his left leg. He's limping off. I think he'll be okay. Could have been a lot worse, that one.
Free to Keys, back pocket for the Lions. He runs forward, kicks up the line. No one able to mark. Christensen crumbs a pack well. Kicks indifferently, though, towards the wing, and it's well trapped by D until he just somehow lost the ball. Goddard there to reclaim it for the Bombers and shoot a hand pass to Myers on the non-preferred. Kicks towards Bellchambers, who's comprehensively outmarked by Stephen Martin. His kick is deflected to Essendon's advantage by McDonald. Tippenwoody to Langford, who works it forward to McKernan. He runs towards goal, has a bounce, lines them up, and with men queuing up everywhere, blazes away and is lucky to score a behind.
I want to go to you, Jackie Reid, for the Master Builders. Is Alex Witherden off the ground yet?
Yes, he tried to make his way around that pack. He sort of got in the way of the player who's running on the spot a little bit there, but he's managed to get off the ground. The trainers are having a look at his leg now. I think he might just lie down on the mat there and get some treatment.
Cutler received from Gardner from the long kick in at halfback. Can they get him on the break? They should. This should be a goal coming up for Brisbane. Taylor goes long into an open goal. McStay for a goal, one end to the other. And that is Brisbane's first goal of the third quarter after 10 minutes. They go to 4-7-31, but 23 points behind Brisbane, who are 8-6-54 for Robot Building Supplies.
That was a set play for sure then. They've practiced that kick-in set-up at training. Luke Hodge straight down the middle of the ground. He nearly turned it over. It just tipped over the top of Green, but they'd held their forward line back. It was good to see. McStay got on the end of it, but a really nice set play there. Goal to the Lions end to end.
And they maintained possession, didn't it? It needed a good kick in from Hodge, and then they were able to they had the space, but they had to find the target, and that was 4 targets found in the flow of play.
Had to be perfect, didn't it? And
badly needed goal, margin 23 Essendon's way. Bellchambers wins in ruck to Myers, who's had some influence. Not here though, as he's tackled, held up, and there'll be a secondary ball up on the edge of the big centre circle.
Both sides have held their forwards back, so it's a really uncongested game today.
McGrath gets a kick out of the middle for Essendon. Stringer pushing forward hard, takes a mark.
The coach has made an agreement, Lee, haven't they?
I don't know, yeah.
From 60 metres, Stringer goes to Brown, who's given them a target up forward. He can't mark this. He did pretty well, though. Green arrives near the boundary. Rich there for Brisbane. Brown's got it now. Might have been taken high. No free kick. Would have been once upon a time back when Lee Matthews was playing the balls over the boundary line, and there will be a throw in. 15 around from the right behind post. Essendon deep in attack, leading by 23 points on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard.
Tell you what has changed, it's a good change. It's when the ball's around the boundary line, players don't want to put it over because they might get pinged, so they try to keep the ball in play. Makes that much more exciting.
Tossed in. As Essendon into attack, Bellchambers tapped, front of the pack, Stringer threw it out, didn't take it with him. Back of the pack that time, kicking it away. Christensen coming back in a moment though, because Hurley's taken the mark. Ooh-wee. Almost an encroachment there. He goes sideways. Goddard's got the ball.
Goddard just behind the centre for the Bombers, who lead by 23. The job's not done yet. Brisbane just might come home a bit stronger after a half of football in very oppressive conditions. The Bombers, though, advance here. McGrath, pumping kick to full forward. McKernan in the aerial contest. Falling ball. Martin got there with Devon Smith charging at it. And the Lions hold up. Gardner clears out to the 50. Myers one-on-one with Keys. They both go to the ground and the ball deflects out to the boundary for a throw in. 75 from Essendon's goal front. The Bombers 8-6-54 lead the Lions 4-7-31.
And Lee, how are you finding Andrew McGrath's influence on the game?
He's good when he gets the ball in a bit of space. I mean, I don't think he's been prolific, but he's always very effective with the ball in hand.
Get you in a moment, Jack. You want to find out about Alex Witherden. Ball on the wing. Picked up by Fantasia. Got it to Goddard. Good hands to Merritt. Now they're in open spaces. The handball went to Hooker. Hooker long for Essendon within 20 metres of goal. Stringer was pushed in the back that time. Reached the quick handball. Half-back win to Brisbane. Christensen. That's a great mark that time then by Rayner. Taking it just defensive side of the centre, wants to spread the ball wide. The kick's all right out there, and McCluggage has got the football for the Lions. But at the moment, they trail by 23 points on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
McCluggage to Leicester, running forward, kicking long. Hurley leads McStay to the aerial contest. The spill to Taylor. Hand pass to Berry. On the boundary, tries to find a way out. He does with a hand pass to McCluggage, who runs in and misses from 20 metres. And brings it all undone. Let's get to Jackie Reid on the boundary for Master Builders and a report on that injury a moment ago to Alex Witherden.
Yeah, Alex Witherden has injured his left knee. They've just tested it out. He's done some run-throughs as well. And the good news is he's given the trainers the thumbs up and he wants to get back out there.
So it's a 22-point margin as Brisbane absolutely burn a chance to get it under 3 goals. McGrath on the end of it. Half back to half forward. Kick is excellent. Stringer moving well. Takes the ball just forward of the wing on the outer side of the ground. Essendon going forward. It is into the pocket. McKernan, 1 grab, 2 grabs. I reckon he's taken it cleanly. And he wanted to appeal for it. Hodge able to knock it away at the last moment. Underground handball bounce. Did not favour that time Harris Andrews. There's support at half back though as Bailey of Brisbane picks the ball up. The handball to McInerney against the boundary line. To Bailey. Took on his man. Well done, Merritt. Great tackle. As he gave away a free kick, and
that's his 8th tackle, Tone.
Yeah, what a beauty.
It was a beauty too. He almost was able to fend him off, Bailey, but just too strong.
Now behind play,
it's down the field.
McInerney has just been knocked over. Let's go, if they will oblige us, with a Yarra Valley and a Croydon Toyota replay. As I think young Bailey believes that, Stringer's going to end up with it. But he just bowled Merritt over for no reason whatsoever.
Well, he was in a bad mood. That was his reason.
Well, thanks.
But you give the 50-metre penalty away, you give the goal to the opposition. That's misplaced aggression.
Just stupid because they've missed a sitter down one end. They nearly could have got them back within 17 points. They missed that. They give this away. And all of a sudden it's out to a 5-goal lead.
Yeah, shoulder charge means a relayed kick down the field. A Stringer 30 out dead in front.
He's missed too.
8-7-55, one behind only Essendon. Brisbane 4-8-32. Robot Building Supplies for all your building supplies needs. And it is 16 minutes into the third quarter.
Hodge, a little chip. Didn't go the one down the middle that time. Rich marks it, back pocket. Hodge then lays a shepherd on Josh Green, who was standing on the mark. And the umpire's going to have the final say on this. He's going to bring it back.
Where the man it didn't set the mark correctly, so it's come back.
Brent Wallace, the umpire. Rich over the top. Hodge marks it. Bomber fans with a chorus of boos. A hand pass now, Hodge to Rich, who kicks towards the middle, and McCluggage marks it. He chips into the middle. Oh, Beams dropped an easy mark low down. Hand pass to Robertson, though. Hand pass to Taylor on the break. 60 out. He nurses the ball towards Big McInerney, who couldn't mark but collects. Gives to Taylor. Kick to the goal square. Not quite marked, or was it? No, it hasn't been paid. It must have touched the grass. Bombers searching for the scoreline. And Hurley sees it over. It's a minor score. I think it was McStay who was lunging forward, trying to pick up the mark low down. Bombers by 22.
Well, this is a dead set. What's your decision? Was it on the half volley, Matthew?
Hard to tell. But anyway, the umpire's call said it was, so that's all that matters.
Thank you, love. There's the ball back pocket to half back. Beyond Leicester, staying down Green. Good hands. Out wide, Devon Smith on the wing. Tumbler wins 30, 35, almost 40 metres. Gardner had to take it at its apex, brought to the ground by Stringer. Between wing and half forward, we get a stoppage. Essendon 55, Brisbane 33, 18 gone, third quarter. Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
It's just a nearly day for the Lions when they go inside 50. Just not quite working for them every time they go in. No, I think it did. Oh, hang on, I don't know if it did.
Yeah, no, it did. Good call by the umpires.
You sure?
My word, 100%.
Got better eyes than me.
Well, I had to take my glasses off to actually see it as well. I don't know how that works.
That was stupid, Tony.
Teasing contest.
There's no doubt the game's alive, though. But the Lions, they clearly need to get the next goal or two. But they're creating the opportunity. So that's the first part of it. Now you've got to take your chances and obviously at the same time prevent Essendon getting that goal.
One of those ones, if it sits like this at three-quarter time and they got the first couple in the last quarter, anything could happen. As the ball's in midfield, McLuggage did well in heavy traffic and he found his way out of it. His kick, though, was not so hot. The only Bomber man to hold them up was Sard, and he did it. And now he's turning grim defence into brilliant attack. 3 bounces, long ball to full forward. Oh, Stringer, I reckon, shoved his opponent in the back. The ball spills off hands through for a behind, and that will stand. No free kick. Essendon 8-8-56 to 4-9-33.
That was another one. The middle of the ground, the Lions had 3-on-1, and they kicked it straight to Sard.
As they go long from the kick in.
You've got to handle the pressure, don't you, Richard? Yeah. I mean, the Essendon pressure has been outstanding today, I reckon. Their pressure on the ball carrier has been really good, and the Lions just haven't been able to create, because not only the pressure, it's the inferred pressure. Yeah. You always think you're under pressure because Essendon have created that.
Essendon 14-4 inside 50s for Corrimal Windsor Caravans in this quarter. There is a whistle going. It's Brisbane's free kick at half-back. And Beams, a very quiet Beams this afternoon.
He wants to kick it into the corridor. He doesn't want to have to come down the line. Now he does.
Essendon have covered that well. Yeah. I mean, Essendon know the Lions like to go through the centre square, so they're making sure they're covering that outlet.
So Zorko back to Withard, and great tackle by McDonald. Tippenwood, he should have been given a free kick, but clever enough to knock it forward to Guelph. He kicked the centre half forward. They're lining up. If Bagley can control the football, loop a handball over the top as the handball from Langford missed its target coming through. But this is McKenna, who straightens himself up. He has gone long, an excellent kick, and it is coming out. Smith to take it. As I saw 3 Brisbane defenders almost look at each other and say, now, who's on this bloke here?
Yeah, just didn't. They were zoning, and that's interesting. McDonald tipping what is no Cyril Rioli, but you don't take him on in the tackle. I mean, he's the man on the mark. If you think you're going to step him, you're hoping.
Yeah, that I can't believe he tried that. It was just a risky. The risk there wasn't worth even attempting to take Tippenwood.
21 minutes gone, third quarter. Smith should goal from 30 metres.
Smith too.
8-9-57.
Can't say this is an outstanding standard game, Richo, as this game has gone on.
It's sort of entertaining.
Entertaining because the scores are close, and it's a question which side can take their chances when both sides are pretty much either with general play and general disposal errors. Yeah. There's a lot of turnovers going on.
Richo, it's a bit like Police Academy 5. As long as you got Hightower, just sort of doing something stupid. It's not the original, we know.
But you know why it's entertaining, even though it's low scoring? It's not a stoppage game. At least it's pinging around, and it's sort of, you're getting a bit of excitement there.
Ball's tossed in at half forward. Essendon into attack, 55 around from their goal, and the Bombers on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard lead by 24 points.
Might be a bit of that first half heat just kicking in here and causing errors. It's Brisbane defending grimly and doing well. Berry got it to Rich. Forward to Rayner, just behind the centre. Under the pump, has to give it back to Rich. He has to give it to Beams, who goes back to Hodge, and he chips a little pass to Witherden.
Jackie, can you check down there where Hipwood has been off the ground for a fair while? Has he got something wrong with him?
Yeah, they were just working on his hamstrings. I sort of assumed it might be a little bit of due to the heat, really, the cramping, but now it has cooled down, so it is a bit of a challenge to keep the players warm on the bench.
Lions do well here. Witherden ride to Robertson, who went to Beams. Now Christensen's got it. He kicks into the 50, almost a mark to Rayner. Support at ground level, but it just didn't work out. Picked up by Smith, who gets a little bouncing, trickling kick to the middle of the ground. Picked up for Brisbane by Cutler, tackled front on by McKernan. The ball somewhere squashed between them. And umpire O'Gorman comes in and will ball it up just marginally Brisbane's side of the centre line. It's Essendon by 24 points with a bit over 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
No, Brisbane can't afford another one now. They won't get back from there. They hang on. It's only grim at the moment. Brisbane from the wing. The kick from Zorko to half forward. Essendon first to react. Redmond, the handball to D. Lost it in a tackle from McLuggage. Fell to Hipwood around the body. Floating for... He's kicked a goal. Pancake parlour goal of the day.
Lovely.
And they live on. Brisbane 5-9-39. Essendon 8-9-57, and I would dare say lead totally and utterly against the run of play.
Well, no, I wouldn't say so, Tony. I wouldn't agree with you on that one. I think the fact is they've been creating opportunities, but that half chance they scored with the tackling pressure across the half forward line turned the ball over, and Hipwood Well, he just turned left foot from the 50-metre line, kicked the goal, and really the Lions and the Essendon, for that matter, they've both been having plenty of shots this quarter, but finally someone's nailed one from... that's not a gimme.
Okay, Richo, totally and utterly against the run of play.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Thank you very much.
Are you out in the crowd?
No, the blokes in front of us saying it wasn't against the run of play.
So, Brisbane are close enough if good enough. Essendon win it out of the middle. Langford, scrambled left footer, finds Fantasia. 65 out over the top to Devon Smith. Lovely, creative kick. Smith coming with the flight, but the weight on the ball was perfect, and he marked it before any physical contact came. 25 out, angled 45 degrees at worst, and Devon Smith it was who missed a couple of minutes ago an opportunity to put him 29 points in front. Oh, and this, he should have kicked a drop punt. That is a cop-out.
No, Tim, that's where I disagree with the round the corner. He didn't even make the distance.
No, he tried the round the corner, as Richo said, but I think it was because he was scared of missing from that slight angle. He was intimidated by it.
I agree.
Ball back on the wing. Bombers have it. Louis Taylor in the way, but he couldn't control it. Myers has got it. He weaves clear. He kicks into the 50. That was a horrible curling ball. Waller looked to have it covered. It got away from him. Stringer there, but Gardner paddles it and was held, and will take a free kick for Brisbane in the last line of defence.
He kicked 1 goal 5 this quarter, Essendon. I mean, that would have been obviously shot a goal. It didn't even actually score, so they're giving him plenty of opportunities.
So Cutler was the target from the free kick. Go, Matthew.
Players do that kick, and I agree with Tim. They're trying to release pressure off themselves by doing that kick around the corner. That's a drop punt range there.
Cutler sees Rayner at half-back. Lewis Taylor running hard. Now he's kicked it to a one-on-one. Big ball to be won middle of the ground, and it's vital at the moment. 18 points is the margin Essendon's way as it's taken to ground that time by Bailey. Too slow to release the ball. Tackler being rewarded, and it comes out now.
They've got 2 minutes here, the Lions. They can't concede. They have to hold up to three-quarter time.
Goddard to Myers, going wide. Merritt takes it. Too far out to score between wing and half forward, and he can just slow it again. Myers has the ball. 18 points to margin. 26 gone. Minute 52 remaining.
Lions got good numbers back, so they don't want to kick the ball in, but
Hooker, slow, it's all right, a little one over the top, Merritt. And Merritt just squares the ball to within 30 metres. They need a grab this time. Front of the pack, Green, Sharks, and misses left. Good effort, the quick snap, not much more he could do. 8-10, 58 Essendon, 5-9, 39. Robot Building Supply scoreboard. It is Essendon in front. Matthew, what are you seeing by 19 points?
I've liked how Fakes has held the deep forward. Hipwood's inside 50. The ball's in defensive 50. Good.
Brisbane go up the wing, but Daniel Rich's kick is wayward into the crowd. Free kick the Bombers' way, forward of the wing. They are pressing for a late goal here to give them a stranglehold at three-quarter time. McGrath to take this and kick it into the 50. It'll land 30 out. McKernan is there. So's Harris Andrews with that sledgehammer fist. Well, it wasn't exactly the sledgehammer. It slid over the top of it, hit it, and just kept going to the boundary next to the behind post. The Bombers deep in attack. 70 seconds left in the quarter. They lead by 19 points.
And a very good chance to score from this. Tossed in, shallow. Martin, the tap. Bailey takes on the tacklers to Cutler. Ran into trouble, lost it. McDonald, Tip and Woody somehow got the ball out. Snap at goal, misses everything. I think it was Myers, it was. And it is out on the full. 8-10, 58 Essendon, Brisbane 5-9, 39. Robot Building Supplies.
You can see that the fatigue's setting in, can't you, Richo? So the chasing pressure won't be as great, but therefore the fatigue, even with ball in hand. But
you'd expect a few more goals in the last quarter.
Being able to actually maintain possession once you're in space, that's going to be critical, because the defensive chase, the tackling pressure, once the ball gets into the open, that will drop off as the game goes on.
The fatigue factor's got to everyone. It took them about 45 seconds to get a ball back to the player who was taking the free kick.
Now, that is extraordinary.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Gardner's in the left back pocket and he's kicked it out of bounds at right half forward across the face of goal.
You wouldn't think that was possible, what just happened then.
And the free kick to Stringer. And these are the sort of ones at the peak of his powers. He's 45 metres out, hard half forward right, almost out of the field of play. the sort of ones he's inclined to roar in.
He will. He'll kick it.
They lead by 19 points. The stringer kick on the way. He is gone more to centre the ball, and Harris Andrews just able to knock it through, concede the behind. So it's 20 points it's 20 points Essendon's lead. Bombers 59, Lions 39. 28 gone final quarter. Robot Building Supply scoreboard. Tim Hodge to bring it in. 42 seconds remain in the third quarter.
20 points seems a lot because it's a low-scoring game, but it can be gobbled up quickly. D's got it for Essendon off the kick-in. Hand pass to Merritt, steering pass. Very ambitious. Gave Waller no chance. Hodge has got it for the Lions, but he kicks it straight to Matt D, who kicks quickly. They know it's almost three-quarter time. Goal square, Langford up. Hodge is there and swats it over the boundary line for a throw-in next to the behind post.
I reckon they've had 5 inside 50s in a minute here, Essendon.
Yeah. The Lions have had their defence back, so there's no sort of easy goal to be got, but certainly they're under siege when you're talking about field position.
Not against the run of play, as it's in the forward pocket. Bell Chambers knocks it out. Keys, I should say, Bailey lost it in the tackle, and we're almost at three-quarter time. They should be able to get out of this as around the body that time with it and close to the boundary line. Hawker had it. Now, he's just handball it straight out of bounds. It's deliberate, but it's not going to matter because we're at three-quarter time. So Christensen, his kick will be the last act of the third quarter. And third quarter brought to you by Robot Building Supplies. In its own curious, bordering on inexplicable, Tim, this is a fantastic game to watch. 8:11:59, Essendon at three-quarter time. Brisbane 5:9:39, third quarter brought to you by Robot Building Supplies. A couple to Heppel, couple to Stringer, the multiples there. Eric Hipwood has 2. And even though it's 20 points, it's hard going, but these are the conditions that will suit Brisbane on the run home. So, three-quarter time, it is Essendon by 20 points right across Australia. Well, thanks to McDonald's. You were listening to 3AW Football.